What's up, everybody? Welcome to another call to the breakdown. We're breaking down this round one tournament here. My name is PLD. Happy to be here with two of my favorite people in the world, the Schmodown world, the real world, everything about it. First off, my buddy Nat. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. It's me, it's NAT, and I'm happy to be here.
I have to say it every time, and I will say it again. I love your hair and quarantine hair.
Oh, thank you.
Just more. Why don't you come back by the end and just have it be the entire screen so you can just see your eyes and your hair? That'd be awesome.
That would be something. I mean, it's not really a choice at this point, but I'm leaning into it. So, I mean, I'm embracing it.
It works, so make it work for you, right?
That's what you do.
All right, and of course, we're welcoming on the newest member of C2A. This is a long time coming to get you on the C2A.
Yes.
But you are here now. You are Frankie Numbers is no more as far as we're concerned, because we have our own statistician. Megs, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Well, this match we were going to have Tim Franco on with us to break it down. However, unfortunately, he has to cancel on last minute, or not last minute, a couple hours ago. So I don't want to blame that on him. I hope Tim's doing well. Everything's great for you. No, I mean, he's a great guy. I wish we could have had him on, but it is what it is. We'll get him on again some other time. But we're going to play on Tim the Tank Franco versus Tom. And I don't know about you guys, but this was one of my most anticipated matches of the first round. As soon as the tournament was announced and the bracket was announced, I zeroed in and saying this is going to be a good match. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this definitely was my most anticipated match. Like every single round one match, they weren't easy to predict, but they were relatively. I wasn't thinking too hard on them. But this one, I was it was a complete toss up. I didn't know who had it because on the one hand, Tim Franco has lost one match, I believe. He's lost one teams match, but he's undefeated in singles. And Tom, we know what a powerhouse he is. So I really, if you asked me what my prediction was before this match happened, I honestly couldn't tell you because it could have easily been. I think I predicted Tom, but it could have easily been Tim. So it was definitely the most intriguing match to me.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say this. There were definitely some that were I'm pretty positive on this one or that one, but this was definitely inside the bracket of I really don't know where to go with this. From a statistical standpoint, it's hard to go against Tom based on his history in teams, but then also I have to, looking at how they played, I gave a little bit of a strategic advantage to Tim, but even still then it was very, very touch and go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is Tom's singles debut. We obviously had seen him in with Video Drew at first, and he made a splash right from the get-go. We also saw him, of course, with Paul Preston, and they didn't have the match they wanted to necessarily, but they weren't busted by any way, shape, or form. It got to the point where we knew we wanted to see this match. We wanted to see what Tom could do on his own because you never know what a team is doing because it seems like it can be very tricky as far as that goes. You never know who's answering the questions, who really knows everything. And so at that point, this was definitely one of my most anticipated singles debuts in a while, considering it's been a while since he had debuted and I was really looking forward to it. But on the other hand, I would say Tim Franco had also not played a whole lot of singles matches, but what he did, it was pretty impressive. I mean, Matt Atchity, who definitely has a lot of knowledge, obviously not quite the same gameplay as some of them do, but he's got the knowledge. That's always something you have to be. That's the basis of trivia, is the knowledge. So I love Tim. I think Tim is a great guy. He's a great competitor. He's definitely competitive. So I was looking forward to seeing what this went down. And of course, there are factions. You got Tim with the Den. And then, of course, we got Tom.
Some of the Mercs.
Yeah.
I'm around, but see, Tim and Tom, same thing. You know?
Right. I'm always wanting to go Franco and Tom because that just makes it so much easier to keep them separated.
Tank. The Tank is with the Mercs. And obviously they have Shazam and they have a good thing going. But so it's always fun to me to have on a faction. You always have those top tier players in a faction. Like obviously the Mercs have them. When you have a guy like Tim Franco that's down in your middle levels, that's a weapon. That can be a big weapon to have. So
absolutely.
Of course, Tom is one of those top tier players. So in fact, it almost felt like Tom needed to win this for the Den. Whereas Tim, if he loses, let's face it, you still got Bibiani and you still got Brandon Meyer. I mean, and I'm not sure who the fourth person is in the Mercs that's in there. Perry Noroff, right?
Perry.
another person that's going to be interesting to see come back after a long time. But so I love the fact that the idea we have this Tom character versus Tim, who is definitely much more of a straightforward guy. He's not really much of a character person. But why don't we get into, Megs, you had some interesting stats that you wanted to talk about for these before we get into
Yeah, so just in general, when I pulled what they did as individuals inside of teams, their third round was pretty comparable. Tim was pretty high accuracy as well as Tom. But when you looked at their round one, you have Tim with about a 6 to 7 average. Tom was ranging more in the 8, where he only had two matches where he did not hit a perfect round and a bonus. Okay. His first match was perfect round, no bonus, but then he went 3 straight where he had a perfect round plus the bonus. But then his latest match with Tom and Paul, he ended up only going 7 in that match, which is why my thought process was, okay, we know Tom has the knowledge, but was Video Drew that anchor for him as far as the game, staying locked into the game himself? So that made it interesting to think about, okay, he's going out in singles. He doesn't have Video Drew there. Tom Paul by no means had a blowout showing, but I didn't see that drive coming from Tom that you maybe would want to see with that type of matchup. So that was why I was kind of thinking strategically, Tim is much easier to lock in without having to be anchored by somebody else.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting point, because I did wonder if Video Drew was the strategic mind behind the team. And I mean, like we said, like him and Paul, they didn't have a bad showing by any means. They came out to play.
No.
But it is interesting to me because Tim was already a fan before he came to the Shimoda, so he obviously knows a lot about strategy. He always knows how the game works. So I would agree that I would give Tim the strategic advantage in that aspect. But I mean, Tom is just so good. Like, I don't think
knowledge based wise, you will not find anyone much better. He's definitely top tier as far as just base knowledge, what he knows. But will he stay locked into the game? Was my only trepidation about him.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, let's. I'll start sharing the screen here. I'll watch through. That's not what I wanted to do. You want to see more than that?
Sure not.
No one wants that.
No one wants that. No one wants that at all. All right, I love watching the Chronic promos. They are the best in the biz.
Oh, I love them.
Oh,
He's so good.
Oh, Tom, I don't like you anymore.
This is great.
Go, you're in my light. Go away, Tom. Go.
But don't you want to see a dead body?
Dead bodies.
If anyone in the chat, if there's a volume issue, let me know. I can raise it or lower it at will, obviously. So you can never tell how they're hearing it.
This might be my favorite matchup of the first round matchups.
I do.
Tim Franco versus Tom.
Yes.
Tom, he has shown up here. He was an enigma, but he just kept delivering correct answer after correct answer. But he was always teamed with Video Drew.
Tom's weird. Tom's horrible. Tom's great, but he's no mercenary.
I really love the whole creepy horror vibe of this whole promo.
For an upset
Just
here. I think Franco can do it. Tim Franco and his
Tim's a big horror guy too, though, isn't he? So that definitely
no
fits.
doubt in my mind. He's going hard to prepare for this match, and that's why I think he could do it.
I love that.
Yes, the book cover.
John Rook, every movie.
And the fact it's the 4th edition.
I'm a mercenary.
You know, I love me a good 4th round Rook joke. So
Let me go for Mr. Perfect
that's
Round.
like an age joke and a 4th round joke. Because every fact about every movie for you gotta assume he's been around for that long, right?
Yep.
In the singles division for the first time in 2017.
all the references.
And up first
right?
Is someone by the name of Tom. Right, Tom.
Tom.
Mommy.
I'm the den mother, but
I love that too.
You know, I'm not.
Yes. Say whatever you want about Kate as a manager. Her character work is spot on every time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Are in the singles tournament. Okay. Do you know what that means? It means you will not be playing with Paul or Video Drew. Okay.
No, Paul. No Drew friend.
Tim Franco is work for this W.
I have a mission, and that mission is to take the target down. And Tom is my first target.
You're in a desert and you see a turtle on its back.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy, Cole. That's Tommy Johnson. He looks slow. And then the next thing you know, he's gone for 5 days.
Just the things they decide to play on is just wonderful.
But that was actually this. I don't know if you do that, the CN Live thing that she did. Her actually, she had a turtle that did run away for like a while, I guess. And it came back, or the neighbor found it after some. I love a cat shot too.
I would like to be your friend. You seem cool.
Of course.
You know, I like strange people, and I think it'd be good for you to have a friend in the Schmodown. And I'm offering my hand in friendship, even if I beat you. I'm going to return to my studying, get ready for this match, and I'm going to win.
By the way, Tim's hair might be one of my favorites.
John wrote the guy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He knows a lot.
One of my favorites in the biz as well.
Yeah.
I love a good mohawk.
Yes, he wins in quarantine hair so far that we've seen.
Very true, Kelsey. Very, very true.
Yes.
Look, it is what it is. This was a
and
match
I gotta
that
say,
I think that you
Mark is
pick
killing it
match.
every name.
This is
Yes, the new name he throws at every
skilled.
time.
Tom has not been
The
tested
running
in
bit, I'm
singles
here
yet.
for it.
Tim has not
Oh,
been
here for it.
singles in 3 years. So this could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, you get these from time to time when you have a tournament setting and the field is rich with 32 different squads, so to speak, who can all play
Yeah, we did
well.
mention that,
It's
Ryan.
not
Is
a
great.
big brand,
We love
clearly.
that.
In March Madness, this is not Kansas going up against Carolina. This is two smaller schools. We know they can hit a lot of threes, or in movie trivia knowledge, they know a lot about a lot of different wheel slices. But
Now-
who is going to bring their A game today and advance to
I
take on
think we
Jada
could probably
Brahma?
skip forward
The
and do
Mercs are
the match
looking
itself
good.
at this point.
The
The interviews
Dan-
are
yeah,
fine.
let's
There's
do it.
nothing wrong with them.
Here, but here are both the managers.
Watch the match. We're breaking down the
Poison and
match,
Drew.
not the other thing. But the
Cade
funny
Mulligan
part to me
and
in here, and the
Grace.
thing I want
All
to
right, we
mention
start with
is the
Grace.
fact that
How
Tom's
are you
game,
feeling
or
going
Tom's
into this
As soon as we ask the
character.
question, you have about 15 seconds.
I noticed
to
he
write
does some
the
things
test
throughout the
attempt.
thing.
Tom, do not
throughout the
swallow
match.
your writing utensil.
There's times where like he puts his
You have
foot in
about
his
15
mouth and stuff.
seconds
He
to
starts
use that
eating the
writing
paper,
utensil,
and all
apply
that's
it to
funny as
whatever
hell.
writing
But
surface
there's
you
two
have.
issues with
Get
it for me.
the
Not
answer
issues
right.
being
Once
the
we ask
wrong
you by
word, but
name, please show what you
does it
wrote to your
does it
camera.
mess up
Have
his
you
gameplay
verbalize
at
your
all?
answer.
Right.
So
Each
far, I don't know.
competitor
I don't know.
has
So
3
far,
usages of the
but
JTE
it
rule
definitely has
throughout
the
the duration
potential
of the
to.
match.
But
After you heard a
that
question,
what
you
is
buy yourself
not
another
talked
15
about
seconds of
is can that be a
weirdness
distraction for the
using
other team
JTE rule. You
in a
also
way
need
to like or
a
other
challenge
player
to
like
be used at
not
any
like I mean you
point
don't
throughout
a guy
the
getting
round
someone's head
match.
by like
You may
insulting
initiate
or
the challenge,
doing that.
but your
This is
manager
another way
or
to get in somebody's
mommy
head
must come in
without
and
being like
ratify and ultimately
insults or you're just
confirm that the
distracting
challenge
them.
is taking place.
Look,
I think it absolutely can be a discussion because here's where I'm coming from. Tom to me is the most compelling character in the Schmodown because even when Tim Franco was answering his round 2 questions, I couldn't take my eyes off of Tom. Like,
Right.
my eyes were drawn to him.
Right.
Your head is sharp.
And I think it's a perfectly legal thing to do. I don't want to get anything like that. It's just in their realm of responsibility to take care of it. But
All right, everybody,
I mean,
here
even
is
when
question
Tim started,
number
Tom does
1
something, you can
in
see Tim
the
like look
realm
over
of
at Tom, and be like,
action adventure.
and
Are
just
you
that
okay?
little minute,
What's going on?
Of the
just that little minute
2005
can be detrimental. I don't think it
sequel
did much to
Mask
Tim,
of Zorro.
but other people could.
Yeah.
Right.
Made a sequel to that.
I definitely think it plays
Yes,
to
I
his
will.
advantage.
I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll mention
Every
that.
day we host this show.
5, 4, 3,
No, honey, you can keep your mouth.
1. Pens down, please, and we start with Tim.
I mean, that's one way to keep your hands in the screen.
Tom,
Just put them in your mouth.
The Legend of Zorro.
also correct. All right, so it is 1-1, Franco and Tom, and we're hoping that Tom.
It's kind of
actually
interesting. I'll
doesn't
say
beat
it
us
now. I
paper,
mean,
so
we're
he
gonna
has something to
find.
write
It's
about.
obviously not a spoiler. If you guys
All right,
haven't watched the
question
match,
number
it's
2,
not
Mark.
a reaction.
Yeah,
We've
Jack
all
might use
watched
his
the
foot,
match
but
and
he's
we're
also
talking about it,
got a
obviously.
perfect
So we might
round.
talk about things that happen ahead of time. So if you're watching this,
category and your
and you haven't seen the match, and you probably should come back later.
Stars as
But
a
this is
slow-witted
actually,
hitman.
I think it's kind of a more
1985's
difficult first round
Chrissy's
question
Honor.
that I've seen. Like, it
Yeah,
seems
there were
like
quite a few that I'm like, I have no idea on this
It's
whatsoever.
weird because a lot of these were hard, but I remember them missing a really easy one. I think it was the Bumblebee one.
Yeah,
Five,
so the one.
two,
They
Yeah.
both
four,
missed the same
3,
questions.
2,
They both
Right.
missed 6
1.
to 8.
Pens down, please,
Yeah,
and
it's
Tom.
hard to hear on the video. Okay, I can turn that down just a smidge.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, the fact that they were missing the same questions the whole time in round one was very interesting.
Right.
Typically, there is some back and forth where one person knows it, the other person doesn't, and it goes. But they were exact scores going down.
Yeah, and Ryan, if that's better, or if that's any better, if it needs to be more, let me know, Ryan. Thank you very much for letting us know. Yeah, it's back and forth. That it's funny. Tim, Tom, they both get the same questions wrong. It's kind of like a wow, but 6 out of 8 in the first round. It's a good first round. But I almost expected this to be kind of a perfect round situation, almost like a double perfect round. I kind of almost expected that, and I wonder if that's because we've had a few more of them recently, or more people competing, and that's just an expectation issue, or I don't know. Interesting to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, based on Tom's previous, I would expect him to get at least 7,
right?
Based on his previous performances,
right.
Tim was one that he started out getting like 5, and then he went to 6, and he got a perfect round. So he's increasingly gotten better throughout the team's run that he went on. But again, how long has this been?
Right.
There's definitely a sense of you're in the digital age, and it's a brand new season. You've been off for a while, so
this might be their first digital match. I mean, Tim, I know has done an
absolutely.
I know Tim I think, has taped the James Bond exhibition, so he's probably done.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I don't think Tom was in any exhibition as far as I know, but I don't remember.
Not that I've heard of. It doesn't. The ones that I thought he might have been in, I haven't heard him in. So.
High game.
Yes, hi, Nikki. Good to see you.
All right, next question.
Nikki!
Here we go. Fantasy sci-fi.
You have to remember, like, it's been 3 years since Tim's first singles match. His only singles match.
Exactly. And his run with Stacy was in the latter part of 19, so he hasn't played at all this year.
And this is what and you meant that is the Bumblebee. And this was kind of a surprise miss for me as well. Because it's a recent interview. I guess I get the answer. They both went the last night. I get that's the last one in the in the series besides Bumblebee, but.
And Bumblebee almost felt like a spin-off, not necessarily part of the series.
See that? There's Tim in the chat.
3-3, and we.
There you go, sir. First person in singles to get a perfect round with a bonus in league history. Awesome. Right. I do remember that actually now. I do remember that now.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far back in my rewatching, so I will get there.
Yeah, I remember being really impressed with Tim to the point where I picked him up in fantasy, and he never played again. So
next year we'll have some.
Maybe.
Grace Hancock weighing in, Christian saying her favorite.
Tim, if you didn't hear me earlier, all 3 of us loved the book because we're good to age. Wrote the 4th round jokes, all right up our alley.
All wrapped into one. It was beautiful.
1 and pens down, and Tom.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Tim.
Whoopi Goldberg.
4-4.
No problem, Tim. We get it. It's everything. Everybody's it's a weird time.
Totally understand.
Happy if you're in here at all, my friend. Happy to hear it all. So.
What famous
werewolf gotta take care of ourselves at the time. You know what I mean?
Directed by John Landis.
Absolutely.
They love this question. I mean, it's not a hard one, but I still love it.
Competition, as long as you don't have to be perfect. As long as you can keep pace and draft off your.
Tim, I'll throw that for you, Tim. I'll throw this to you, Tim. And since you're in the chat, me answer this. Is Tom's antics, like the foot in the mouth, the paper eating, can that be distracting at all? Do you think that's something that could potentially be something that gets in people's heads going forward? I mean, it didn't seem to affect you much, except for the one time I saw you kind of like look over and be like, well, I don't know. It's like what you thought. What are your thoughts on that? If you have any thoughts on that?
Animated movies drawn by hand or on a computer. Your question.
Thank you.
What legendary comedian is the voice?
Yeah, that's the one I was surprised at myself, but it's an understandable one to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, the last night didn't come out that long ago, so it came up pretty close to Bumblebee.
Is that an actual line? I don't remember.
That was a trickier. That was a more difficult first round question than I'd seen in a while. I definitely needed the full time. I eventually got it, but then again, I'm also older and lived through the 80s, so that definitely helped me a little bit. I think.
God, you're so old.
I am. I can't make any Roka age jokes. I'm actually not that much younger though. Doesn't stop me though. Won't stop me.
Nor should it.
Nor should it.
As we now bring in both Kate and Coy, and we have ourselves a tie game here.
All right. 6-6. I do wonder if it will distract other people. Some people are more distractible.
It definitely distracted me. I wasn't even playing.
Managers, here you go. In round number 2, this is the wheel round. The wheel of fate.
I love the fact if you ever saw Mark Ellis on Chilled Action, he can actually literally recite them without any help anymore and he did it for us.
Well, for how many times he's had to do it over the years,
Right.
I'm not surprised.
Me too.
Not surprised at all.
Mm-hmm.
So this round 2 for both of them was
We'll give you 4 options, one of which is the correct
interesting
answer.
around.
I mean, the fact that they maintained the point differential only changed by 1.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I also thought it was interesting that it's coming up here, but Tom spins James Bond and Kate kind of encourages him to keep it, which is interesting because I would think that Kate would know that Tim Franco was really good at James Bond. So I did think it was a really smart choice to spin away from that.
That was true. That one was good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Obviously, the
Where are you?
No, I would get destroyed, my friend.
it's taken out. But I feel like with
But I mean,
Go ahead.
I would have expected her to encourage him to spin away from it because we know Tim's a big Bond guy. If Tom doesn't know it, guaranteed Tim was likely going to pick it up.
Well, that's right. It's how well can you do it? Because if you do know it, it means you take it off the board for him.
If it's a Kalinowski Franco situation,
No, then he's definitely taking it. They're both putting it on the wheel, probably. That's the problem.
right?
Put it on the wheel. Man, I know James Bond. I can tell you, James Bond would definitely tell me Tim must have put on the wheel. But
for sure.
I figured he probably did.
Did well on Bond. Oh, okay. That's true. He did. He probably should have kept it.
He could have.
That was actually my initial thought, was that I thought Tom probably should have kept it. But it's not like a egregious error, I don't think. I understand why he's spun away. But
Now here's the question: Is there a reference to a movie or anything with him having anything written on his hand, or is that just him doing something fun?
I think that's him doing something fun. I don't know anything off the top of my head. I miss things every once in a while, so I could be missing something.
Yeah, I'm not into horror or anything of that nature. So when I saw him, like, is he playing off of something? I just don't catch the reference.
Right.
I think that's just Tom being Tom.
Fair. I'm totally for it, though. It's awesome.
Would you like to keep this one?
He's the man in the fancy suit.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I probably definitely does. That's why it would have been a risk. Absolutely. But the same point, but exactly what happens. Tim ends up getting Bond because it's still on the board. If he had gotten spinner choice, he still wouldn't be able to get Bond at that point.
That's true, but Coy mentioned that Tim had 2 big strengths on the board, so he could have chosen the other one too.
That's true. That's true.
Either one.
I'm gonna make it go again. All right, here's the second.
I'm gonna make it go again. See, it's always like there's another thing though, real quick. Like Tom and Kate were having this little deliberation. I'll go back to it real quick. Like they started talking about things.
How you feel, buddy?
And it's like
the wheel, and it is up, and the spin is in, starting now.
Oh, I go back a little bit further. Sorry. Wait, when they first come in.
Coy and Tim going to bring back Tom and Kate. Kate, you got 60
Now
seconds
watch
here to
this.
talk to Tom starting now.
Tom.
Mommy.
Tom. Nope. Not actually your mom. Tom.
Not mom.
Watch it, Tom. Watch it. Good boy. Oh.
Okay, now here's the thing. Funny as hell. I love it. Love the character. At the same time, is it a waste of time?
Just as awesome is your name.
We have only time to talk about things, but again, maybe they don't need to. Maybe it's something they'd come up with beforehand. Maybe they don't.
I'll
need
say,
to.
yeah, if they had already talked beforehand, then and Kate did the same thing with Paul in their match.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And it's, I just wonder at that, because I know sometimes people, I guess it depends on the kind of player you are, because some people actually need that time to like regroup. They need a manager to kind of talk to them and not even talk them down, but like, you know, just even like somebody saying, I know Kevin Smets is someone who said that always helped. The Kaiser just came up and went, you got this, you know what we're doing. Even it's something simple like that, just to kind of like set the brain in a way.
I feel good about this, but it really depends on how you feel, buddy.
I want to make it go again.
No, I've done this one before.
So, all right, let's
I've done
get
this one before. That was the other one.
That's right. So it gets Julia Roberts, and we'll watch it from there. And that I don't think was his choice either. But
Julia Roberts co-stars.
But maybe it was. Maybe he did.
Shirley MacLaine and Dolly Parton. In which?
Well, he never checks down to multiple choice though.
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
He misses one, but he doesn't check. He doesn't feel he needs to check down to multiple choice. So he felt at least decently confident.
There you go. By the way, yeah, many characters. It is true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize any specific reference. That is definitely one. It's true. It's true. That's a good one.
That's more of a personal curiosity.
Now this one does surprise me in a way.
Yeah.
And Tom didn't check down a multiple choice.
Yeah.
But
you
it's
think
also,
he just forgot that he had multiple choice, or was that a conscious choice?
That I don't know. See, that's what I wonder about.
Julia Roberts.
Sometimes we haven't seen Tom enough play because a lot of people still forget the multiple choice. I don't know what kind of situation that is. Now this one, yes, I'm about to say, even when I watched this match and this happened, I could tell Tim was like, I hate myself right now for missing this question. For missing this deal.
Yeah.
5.
Hero.
It's incorrect. Tim, you have a chance to steal here. I'm going to repeat the
It actually
question.
took me a second, but once I
Julia
was
Roberts
like, oh, yeah.
Stars with
Then
Dustin
it's that.
Hoffman and Bob Hoskins in which film?
Nikki, maybe you can, if you're still around, one of these days I want to, how many questions from Hook have gotten missed?
For Hook.
It's another Remember the Titans situation.
Bangarang. It's true.
Thumbs up and
Oh.
don't get it.
That's Tim right there. Tim's face said it all right there.
Yep.
Oh my God.
He knew it.
Had a supporting role as Richard Gere's lawyer.
I mean, it's lucky though. I think I'll say Tim. Maybe I don't know. Again, this is maybe overanalyzing things, but it's good that you missed it in a steal. Because if you had missed it like during your round 2 and had to jump on to the next question right away, that might have been something kind of like lingering that might have bothered you a little bit.
Does Julia Roberts' character discover that her husband?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, guys. About like,
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
That could like really kill your momentum.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, and yeah, because otherwise, if you're stealing, you're kind of in and out of.
How could you forget Smee?
1995 film does Julia Roberts' character discover that her husband, by Dennis Quaid, is cheating on her?
Lightning struck my brain. Well, that must hurt.
I've got to be honest. I've never seen Hook.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big one that I haven't. It's on my list of shame.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Right there, real quick, something to talk about. That was a good pull. That was a very good pull. I didn't recognize that at all. I didn't even think about it. So.
And we're going to take him out and bring back Coy Jandreau as we now get.
Now, Coy is a more serious manager, surprisingly, given his thing. He's just right in there. Yep, we're going to do what we're going to do.
So going into this, he has been one of the more impressive digital age new managers.
Yeah. When internet works. Yes.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah. We'll be good. I'm really kind of mad I missed that Hook one, but it's okay. It happens.
It's the ones that are right in front of your face that are the hardest to get. Forest, trees, etc.
They could have.
All right,
They
let's
could
see this
have.
wheel.
All right, here's the wheel. And
She's in there for a brief second. I don't know. Starring Glenn Close. So
Yeah, the star is a bit of a.
I think that threw a lot of people for a loop.
It was a great question.
You could have used.
Julia Roberts, but it
You
does,
used
so you
Patty,
get 2 more
but-
things. There's this counts as
I might have given a little too much away.
Round and round it goes. A lot of great performers on that.
historical epic dramas.
I saw that. I'm like, oh, that is interesting.
I wonder. I know
I would love
Tom,
to see what the list is for that.
Tom on his podcast recently did something on Alexander, and I'm wondering if it's Tom's strengths, like one of Tom's strengths. I wonder if that was the. I wonder if it's one of his puts on there. But yeah,
I thought Coy brought up an interesting point that this hasn't been spun a lot, so they could be more service level questions, but you never know.
Here it is.
That's the common thought about that. Sometimes some people argue against and say it's not as true as you would think, but I do think like that's the belief. That's what the belief is.
And Spinner's Choice. Spinner's Choice it is.
Well, you know, as soon as that happened, I knew we were going one way.
Right.
I knew one way. I don't know what else. I don't know what Tim's other category is, but we knew it.
We know at least one that he was likely to take.
Move that wheel just slightly over and go to James Bond.
All right, James Bond it is. James Bond it is, and obviously Tim Franco knows his Bond. He was in the exhibition James Bond match, and we're going to bring Coy out, bring back Tom.
I wonder when that's going to be air. I think it's not going to air for a while. I've heard.
I haven't seen a release
December
date
match.
for it recently.
Questions in the realm of
I haven't double checked.
I saw a running bet with Josh Estes from the FinSoc, former FinSoc Exchange podcast.
Uh-huh.
I won because I picked Smets over Gilmore in the Back to the Future match. Then I picked Tim over Gilmore in the.
So you're waiting to see if you balance each other out.
Yeah. I don't think Tim even has to win. I think it's just to beat Gilmore. If you can beat Gilmore, then I'm happy.
Got it.
Now, I haven't seen this movie, but this seems like a really hard question, is it not?
I think it's mid-level. I think it's mid. I did see his movies. I mean, he did make a. He made a. There's definitely something that was said a few times.
I can provide
Okay.
But
Sir William Robbins.
even, I mean, Tim had to check the multiple choice to make sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Just
so
double
close.
check.
Byron Hingle.
I think it might be a 3-point type question, maybe, and a 2-point, guys. If I had to, if that makes sense.
Because it is much more of a, you would have had to either know a really deep plot
Right.
synopsis or would need to see the movie in order to catch that one.
Right.
Which Roger Moore Bond
I didn't catch the plugging in.
fellow agent Nat
I love that.
the 007
That's awesome.
cover an international jewel
Underrated James Bond movie in my mind, but that's neither here nor
I
there.
feel like it's an underrated.
And so does Tim. That's right, Tim.
Yes, you did say that.
I forgot he said that. I've just been doing a Bond watch through myself, and I got this one recently.
Oh
so-
yeah. I just started watching Bond movies for the first time. I've seen the first two, Dr. No and From Russia with Love.
Nice. I'm up to. Where am I up to now?
Classic
Can't remember
song. It's Paul McCartney and Wings.
His Eyes Only, or Her Eyes Only. I think it's the next one I gotta watch.
Later by Guns N' Roses. I think a little bit better the second time. But that's
Tim ready to kill Mark
You
with
can
that.
drop- Chris, you can drop him out now.
That was good.
Well, Tom is looking.
I gotta say, honestly, I think I do happen to like Guns N' Roses version just a little bit better.
Tom with either a 1 point or take the lead here should he get his next one. Mark, this is his final question. Here it is.
I like the Beatles more than Guns N' Roses. I'll say that. Your question for
I also like the Beatles more than I like Guns N'
Tim, in the world
Roses.
of James Bond, what singer has a role in 1989's License to Kill as a corrupt televangelist named Joe Butcher?
It's a great role, and it is Wayne.
Okay.
Mr. Las Vegas gets Tim to tank 2 more points. Christian, we got us a ball game going into round number 3.
What a ball game it is. 1 point lead
1 point
for
lead.
Tim as he just leads Tom by 1 point going into round number 3. And how does that go, Mark?
Oh, this is the round that will determine the match, lest we go to sudden death overtime, which I'm told we are semi-prepared.
I having an issue seeing it all of a sudden. Or that's just me.
It's kind of blurred out.
It's like super blurred out.
Okay, let me just stop it real quick, and I will re-share the screen. Let's not have that happen. Let's try that again. Never be an action industries or call to action podcast or YouTube show without some technical difficulties.
It happens. It happens.
Oh, of course.
I almost just shared our own broadcast. That wouldn't work very well.
No.
Okay, there we go. We're good, I think.
Need 3 from
All right.
you. They may not be the same number.
There we go.
There we go.
Why do we need the numbers? So they correspond.
And so even I was just double checking if Tim hadn't checked down a multiple choice, how big of a difference that would have made, which ultimately when it got down to the end, I don't think it did.
Right.
But I think just from a point of like, oh, I better make sure it was smart.
Yeah. Every point matters. That's true. Every point matters because it was 17-16 at the end. I mean, actually, just so you know, Tim, if you are still watching, we do have a new. I'm gonna pause real quick. We do have a new slipcase for the book you wrote. I know you kind of like a bootleg cover of it. This is the one we're gonna go with now.
Nice.
That's perfect.
It's beautiful.
On sale everywhere, at least, or maybe on sale nowhere. I don't really know the difference at this point, but that is the bookcase that Tim was reading, and Tim, we'll send you the book cover free of charge, and you can slip that around next time. All right. All right, let's move on to round 3.
So 3 numbers here. You're in the lead by 1. You get to choose first.
Okay, I'm going to go with 6, 12, and 18.
6, 12, and 18 for Tim and Tom.
5.
Yes.
11.
Yes.
17.
Very proud of those numbers, buddy.
Yeah. All right. So let's start here with Troy. You got 60 seconds to talk to Tim, starting now.
I love how you handled that last round, because that one that looked like the slightest glimmer, like you took your time, you used it. We've still got 2 JTEs. We got plenty of time to go into this one. The confidence of Bond is exactly what we expected. It was glorious to behold as a viewer here. But how are we feeling round 3?
I'm feeling very good. I like those numbers. I'm not going to take it for granted, though. It's still a game, so let's do this. Let's get this done.
Honestly, there wasn't much. There's not much I could really pick apart.
Right.
All right, Kate.
In
You got
this game.
60 seconds
Right.
to talk to Tom here, starting now.
Tom.
There's a few misses. I can turn down this. There's a few misses here and there. Surprising. There's a few.
Yeah, Tom may have gotten that 1-2 pointer if he had checked on a multiple choice.
Right.
Maybe. And I think if I remember correctly, Franco still had one repeat left on that 5-pointer.
Yeah.
But whether or not it was one of those, he wasn't going to pull it with that last repeat.
I think he said it wouldn't have helped him. Like it was kind of. I think he just didn't do the movie, and sometimes that's just the case.
Right. Exactly. And but yeah, other than that, there's.
I love Roxy doing that. Those are sexy numbers.
Those are sexy numbers.
Those are terrible numbers.
Those are the worst numbers I've ever heard.
I love that. I love Roxy. I love a good Roxy stan.
What she always brings a good game to her promos and how she very on brand all the time.
I would hate to play a player managed by Roxy. Like that would be my nightmare.
Juliet to Leonardo DiCaprio's Romeo in Romeo and Juliet.
Is that really a romantic comedy? I don't know if
I haven't seen this one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the tone
is. Is correct. Is correct.
That's in general. You know the outcome of Romeo and Juliet. It's not a comedy.
It's not very funny, I don't think.
A tragedy.
Let us now we see ourselves.
There you go.
Yeah.
We see ourselves now at a 14.
Kate Mulligan was in the movie and didn't know the answers.
The lead here.
That was great.
This is something I want to see, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not involved in the match. How much did it go at Kevin Spin? She did it at SCN Live briefly. She said something like he called him an idiot or something, or something brief or something. But then she got it backed off really quick. So I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. If she clears it ahead of time, and gets a clearance, she'll go full into it.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think she'll need to be a heel because Chris Jericho will do all the work for her.
That's true.
One of the greatest healers of all time.
Yeah, he'll manage that plenty well on his own, and he has a working relationship with
Ethan Hawke,
Kevin Smith anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or they've worked together.
Looking for Patricia Arquette.
Now that was the question, the 2-point Oscar question. That's not one of the easy 2-point questions. That was off the top of my head. I kind of knew immediately who it was. I mean, you kind of knew it had to be either Hawk or Arquette. If you know Oscars, maybe you do.
Right.
I don't know if that was a
it is.
If that was a guess by Tim, or if you just, I mean, it was obviously the inference. You had to infer that guess.
2-point lead over Tom.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe you want to save it for a 5-pointer. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Here's the question. In what 2000?
So if you weren't going to pull it, then you might as well save the repeats.
And Amy Adams play nuns.
Doubt.
That was a good pull. That was a good pull.
Who's in the lead, and that is Tim the Tank by 2.
All right, so we bounce back to Tom, who now has to hit his 3-pointer, and he has category number 11. And we.
I just can't take my eyes off Tom.
I know, right?
Tom Hanks movies.
That's my name.
Yes, it is.
He has some great one-liners out of nowhere.
Yeah, he pulls it out and just
saw Tom Hanks
without a blink.
Honestly, Tom's comedic timing and his tone is just so good.
Yes,
he's so funny.
Big.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I actually knew that only because I study about that for I asked questions for somebody, and I asked that question to somebody.
I thought it was Philadelphia. Big didn't even cross my mind.
I remember I did the same thing when I initially was wondering the question myself. I was like, what was his first? It must have been Philadelphia. Then I was like, no.
Philadelphia would have been my initial
Yes,
definitely.
It bounces back to Tom and forces Tom to try to win. If he misses, Tom
and here is the 5-pointer.
Face Jada Paramo. And here is the category mark. It's category number 18.
Category number 18.
Anytime you get a dog on screen, it's worth ratings points.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Decade. And that decade is the 2000s. Could be any movie released from 2000 to 2009.
Other one.
Your question?
We're offering moral
5
support.
points. And to force
if Barbarian can have Elvis,
question.
then Tim can have any of the dogs he wants.
Which actor plays investigator Frank Weber?
Oh, there you go.
That assists Nikki Hauer in
it's just that's a risk you take in round 3.
That's the game. Now let's be honest here. Let's get into it a little bit. We know the answer now. This is where the controversy comes in. And challenge.
Three.
First of all, you can't come out of challenge because nobody on screen
Can certainly do that.
knew it.
In
Christian,
the category of the
Mark,
2000s.
Tim,
Your question
and
for
Tom.
5
None of them. I
points.
mean, obviously Tom might not
Which
challenge to win,
actor
but
plays
nobody seemed to
investigator
nobody
Frank
seemed to
Levin
know about it at
that
least.
assists Nick Fowler
And I'll get into it now. I will say that Lincoln Lawyer, just to get out of the way, Lincoln Lawyer was in 2011, not in the 2000s. Now, my take on this, you can give your take in a second. I'm going to turn it down now because my take on it is that, yes, it's a flub. I've been millions of questions. It sucks that there's a flub like that in a way, but at the same time, it's not like you were asking Tim to pull the title of a movie from the 2000s and would eliminate it. You're still talking about the Lincoln Lawyer. You know it's the movie. If the category happened to be 2010s, Tim's not going to know it any differently. Like, argument about it being a flub, but at the same time, no one challenges. So it is what it is. It's part of the game. You got to move on from it. Hopefully, it doesn't become a big controversy because the writers take too much shit as it is. And we love Campbell and crew. So I think it's an okay thing and didn't make a difference at the end of the game. He doesn't know the question. He doesn't know the question.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that whatever category it was in, you can still the fact that it's in one category versus another doesn't change your ability to pull out the answer. Like you were saying, Paul, it doesn't.
Right. I think there have definitely been worse flubs that have gone unnoticed in the Schmodown. Like this one doesn't seem like that big a deal to me because even if the category was 2010s, he still wouldn't have gotten it. So
the only big deal that it is that absolutely, if Tim had known it was a 2011 movie, he could have challenged it and gotten a new question.
That's true.
It does. There is a history there. You could win the game that way, so it is part of it. I just feel like it's one of those things where, like, yeah, you gotta put your hands up. It sucks. I understand it sucks. Yes, it's something we gotta make sure is looked at in the future, trying to tightened up. And he probably should have received a new question. But let's not make a huge deal out of every era. We're gonna just still growing pains. Get close further and further. We're in a new age, a new crew.
Yeah, and just the volume of matches we're throwing out right now at such a rapid pace, trying to play catch up is impressive.
And to his credit, Tim, as said, he didn't know it, and he was not upset about it, and he took it like a man and said, that's it. It is what it is. Good for him. I mean, good for him. Good for everybody else, and still a good match. And that's what it is. I mean, everybody else can argue about it being necessary. They should challenge, and else. Yeah, absolutely, he should challenge, but he didn't know, so he didn't. So it's over. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get away with things. Sometimes an umpire calls a ball fair when it's foul, and foul when it's fair, and it just happens to be that's how it is, and you got to move on. Apologies were made. I know for a fact, and I'll say this. I think I can say this. I'm going to say it. Later, I did talk to PJ about it at one point, and PJ said that he and Tim had a conversation, and that it was good. So, cool.
Yes, you learn from it and you go forward.
D-Train, let me tell you why we do that. I don't like doing that. I don't think for the real reason we're doing these breakdowns now instead of reactions. We don't do reactions anymore where we watch the match along because we particularly find that that way to do things to be not our style. I mean, if people do it out there, I know there's a lot of reactioners who do that and have a good time with it. More power to them. And if you enjoy watching that, I'm happy to have you watch it. For me, I don't enjoy that experience. I'm more about watching the match and seeing what happened in the match rather than watching people I don't know or even people I do know try to guess at their answers. That's my own personal preference. Yeah. That's why I try to do this. So at this point, I'm not playing along. We watched the match already. So we're just breaking it down as we see it and coming up with little insights that we saw. And a lot of times we actually try to do this with a player. If we can schedule, we try to do it with a competitor so we can talk to them and talk to them while we're watching the match. Unfortunately, Tim couldn't do it today. He had some issue that couldn't make it on screen. That's perfectly fine. So we can do it without him. But that's why long answer to a short question, but I hope it's understandable.
Yeah, like he said, this isn't a reaction. This is a breakdown because we've all seen the match already, and I don't want people to know how bad I am at movie trivia. So.
It's just a different approach to.
I like that too. There you go. Yeah, I just like that. And we can talk about it in the chat too. So that's why I try to say up top is your spoilers involved. We can all talk about everything that went down.
Yeah.
And, so.
Back in there now. 3-pointer that kind of sets you up there.
But yes, I will say yes, Danny Costa. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome, D-Train. Happy to have you.
Welcome aboard, D-Train.
I hope you can appreciate this style as well and add that to your rotation when you can. So that'd be great.
We appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
spun away on that first spin in the second round, and I got spinner's choice, which is what the ideal situation to be able to pick my ideal category, and then I did well in my ideal category. But we were even matched. I mean, throughout the match, I mean, we were missing the same questions. Which was interesting. I kind of kicked myself. I had a couple opportunities where I could.
Tomorrow's match, I believe, is Perry and Mike. Is tomorrow's match, and we will be doing a breakdown of that as well. We're trying to get a guest on for that. I'm not sure if we will, but so we're working on things.
And that happens. It's no reason to hang your head. I'm proud of the way I played. I think I still represented the Mercs. We're still in it. The Mercs are not out. And I'm going to do my best to support my
You know what? That's a good point. I'll stop this now. We've actually seen the interview. We need to watch the interview. I'll say that we can talk about that now. We're going into what happens now. I don't have an updated bracket, but we do have the bracket itself. Real quick, we can do this, and then we'll look at Meg's stats before we sign off real quick. Now we have left, obviously, Tom has moved on. So Tom is representing the Den is moving on, and he'll be facing the winner of Jader beat Jim, so he'll be facing Jader Paramo. Yep. And that's going to be a good match, too. I think Jader has a lot to prove. My initial thoughts are Tom. I think Tom's a little bit more of a base knowledge. Jader's a little bit more. I think Jader has a few more holes than Tom does. But so it wouldn't be surprised either way.
And just seeing Jader play off of someone who has a more defined and distinct character will be very interesting, too, to see what that effect has.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. A very good point.
Because so far he hasn't played against anyone who has that very strong character inside the game.
He's played against Brittany Young and Jim Davida, both of whom don't have like a strong character presence. They're strong kayfabe presence. So it's certainly going to be interesting.
Yeah. And of course the Den now has Paul Preston's out, obviously. So we have Tom in. We still have the other side, of course, which is we still have James White still in to face William Bibiani. Tough road to climb for him. And, of course, Rachel Silverstream versus Liz Shannon Miller, who I think Liz Shannon Miller is a very interesting case for me. I think that she has a good shot of doing a lot of damage if she steps up her gameplay. I mean, she already had great matches. She seems like she's overlooked it last year.
Her knowledge base is solid from what I've seen.
And she lost to
she beat a former champion, JTE, so
she did. And she didn't, and she never looked bad in her matches. She never really looked bad. So I think more experience is going to help her. So that's kind of a good call. And of course, what we were talking about, so that's where we are for her. So tomorrow we got Mike and Perry. Go from there. Let's bring up Matt Beggs' stats real quick from this match. You can take a look at those. I think it's the right one. There we go. Yeah, there it is. 6 and 6. They both have the same misses. That's what we talked about earlier. That's so cool. It's very interesting to see that.
It's very rare to see.
Accuracy. Tom had a higher accuracy with fewer questions, obviously. So 78 to 68, give or take. Let's see. I love that. Yep. And that's good stats. Actually, I love looking at your stats. Like sometimes I get mesmerized by them, so I don't even know what I'm talking. I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, you look at those stats and numbers at all, you think that, probably Tom won the match, and that's what happened. So
that's what happened.
That's what happened. So thank you, Meg, for always providing those great stats.
Of course.
Puts things in perspective. And the HRs, that's true.
Yeah, she understands. She and I have.
No, I don't know that yet. I do know of some teams that have been. I would say they're not announced. They're not announced, but they're definitely going to be in. But they haven't. Nothing's been announced yet, so we'll have to find out and see. But probably soon. I would think that'd be kind of a soon thing now because I know Christian gave Gucci a deadline to submit his team. So if that's the case, they must be announcing it soon, or at least choosing it soon, and then we can go from there.
I would guess next week or so. Yeah, we should. They'll need to start recording and doing all that stuff to get them start rolling out.
Right. Real quick, tomorrow's match is a quick prediction: Mike or Perry. Nat, what do you think?
I've got Mike all the way.
Mike all the way. You think it's going to be a blowout?
I think it's probably going to be a blowout, but if Perry gets one of her stronger categories, I think it could be really close. She's really good at new releases, I know, and obviously horror because her nickname is Scary Perry. So I still have Mike beating her, but I give her a chance.
Okay. Megs?
I think it's going to be a little bit closer than maybe you're thinking, but I'm still going to give the edge to Mike. It's hard to with the only trepidation I have with him is he does get a little bit inconsistent when it comes to round one. So that's probably the only thing that's going to give me a little bit of hesitation to say definitely he's just going to run away with it. I'm not going to underestimate Perry, but I'm going to yield to more of the experience inside the game.
Jeremiah Morris says, I forgot Nat was a corruption show. You're damn right I'm a corruption show. I embrace that.
Wow. You're rolling high then now. I would give the edge to Mike as well. Mike's definitely got his swagger back since I've been saying this all year. So if you watch my show, you're going to be sick of me hearing him say it. But I know he got his ass kicked last year at the end of the Spectacular. Kind of stumbled a little bit with Chance earlier, but he seems to have gotten that swagger back. Although I'm interested to see him in a singles match. It's not IG. I feel like IG is back. Singles, he was never as. I feel like Mike was never quite as good. He was made out to be in singles. That's my own personal opinion. It's not a knock against him. I just think he's a little bit. I don't want to say overrated, but I don't think he's quite where he's supposed to be. So I'm just to say I do have Mike winning. I think Perry is very competitive. I think
it'll be tough for him, but it's still gonna.
Yeah, I think she's gonna have. If again, like Nat said, actually, it's impressive. If she gets one of her strengths, that could be really. That could be making it a lot closer. So I'm interested to see. I just see how Perry is. I mean, she's very competitive, but she hasn't been around forever. I mean, besides the Jurassic Park exhibition, she's been around since 2017. It's a much different match. So I'm very interested to see what she's going to be doing. We'll have to say. So
I really do hope she does well because I really like Perry. I just love Mike, man. I'm a corruption show, as Jeremiah Morris has said.
Not a fan of Mike Belts. I'm a mortal enemy of Mike. That was my whole thing for a long time. I was a Meon. I love him. I do respect Mike. I do love Mike. But I just think that I like to root against him. I like to root against corruption. That's been my thing for a long time. But although Shannon changed, I do like Shannon quite a bit. Shannon makes me laugh, so I'll give her that.
Shannon's amazing.
So either way, let's just say, Nat, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at NattyIce44 and also on Twitch, twitch.tv/Nat_Vu. I will be streaming some Fall Guys, which I used to be really bad at, but I'm really good now. So I got 3 wins under my belt. So come watch me.
All right. And Megs, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Megs_Reclaimed. And you will also see me posting stuff on the MTS Facebook pages with these graphics, as well as some other fun charts detailing stuff in the league.
And we love it all. We love it all. Me at Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. You can find me on Call to Action every week and Class Action on Action Industries, as well as PLD Projects on YouTube. For the rest of the week, we have a breakdown tomorrow. I believe it's going to be the same time. Let's click that subscribe and hit that bell and let us know, but probably going to be the same time for us before we go into Schmobates tomorrow night. Then Friday is the big. We're not going to do Friday. Thursday, I think we might be doing a breakdown. That's not exactly entirely sure. We're still scheduling that out. Saturday is supposed to be Call to Action live this week. We're going to do a Saturday episode to break down the big pay-per-view match, Smith and Jericho, and of course, Guy Bateman too. You know that. You might love that. And then finally, the last we know is this Sunday is a special edition of Chill to Action. Usually on Mondays, but sometimes we have to make do when we get some guests that can only do Sunday. So we said, hell yeah, we'll just change and do Sunday. But that's not what I want to do. I'll just do it this way instead. We'll do Dan Merle and Mark Hanaka.
That is so awesome. So excited you guys got them.
Trying to work on that since December to get them. Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited that's going to happen.
Please tell Dan Merle that me and Dylan are very sorry for our AAA episode.
We will. We won't say that entirely. We'll let them know. And of course, you did see the Chill 50. You should take a look at that from us. We had Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy on, and there has a good clip out coming from that. A very fun clip out from that coming out soon. I'll let you know. So that's it. Without further ado, thank you everybody for staying in the chat. Thanks for watching our show. We love you all. Come back soon, and of course, we all will salute you.
Salute.